Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Dario Di Clerico's culinary story began at just 14 when he first stepped into a professional kitchen in his native Italy. Since then, he's forged a path defined by talent, grit, and unshakable passion. He trained under the youngest, at the time, Michelin-starred chef in the UK, refining his skills in high-pressure kitchens and learning what it takes to lead with precision and creativity. When he moved to Australia, Dario brought that same energy and expertise with him, quickly making his mark on the local food scene. Now at the helm of Cannoleria and the Burrata Bar, he's not only delighting diners with playful takes on Italian classics, he's also inspiring a new generation of chefs. In this episode, we talk about his deep respect for tradition, his inventive streak, and yes, there has been a Vegemite and parmesan cannolo, and what it means to build something meaningful in the ever-evolving world of food. I was lucky enough to be given a cannolo to eat while I was talking to Dario, so if you do hear some crunches and some fumbled words, that's why, and hopefully it makes you rush out and buy one yourself. So delicious. Hi, I'm Jo.
Dario, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How you going?
Good, thank you. How's your day been?
Good, nice and quiet here.
Yeah.
So I was just catching up, emails and things like this.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, are these the classic?
That's it. That's the Sicilian cannoli, ricotta, cinnamon, sugar. That's where everything started. That was the first one we have, with Giorgio. From That's Amore Cheese, we had ricotta. He said, this is like my mum would make it, and that's how everything started.
Yeah. And I was reading that some people use mascarpone, but the traditional way is with ricotta.
Yes, mascarpone is always something. It makes something very smooth. It's a cheese that is very smooth. The ricotta tends to be sometimes a bit grainy. You have some lumps in your mouth, so that's why traditionally they actually they put through a sifter. They sift it. Instead, we're lucky because the Zamora ricotta is very thin, so it's not hard. Even the traditional one is nice and soft. So just by whipping it, you get a really good result.
Yeah, it does look very smooth.
Yeah.
And I love your logo, Stay Crunchy. So the pastry shell has to be crunchy.
Yes, the pastry shell has to be crunchy. You need the last thing, I think the most disappointing thing is you bite into the cannolo, it's soft, or when you buy it start to crack a little bit, or when you buy it and they are sitting on a display and there is chocolate around it. That means that it's something that's been filled for a while. We do have the chocolate lined as well, but we fill it up fresh in front of you. So if you say to me, look, I need the cannoli tomorrow, I can come tomorrow, we offer the cannoli kit. So it's you fill it up yourself.
Yes.
Otherwise, if someone says, look, it's not really something I want to do, or I don't have the facilities, I just can't be bothered, we fill it up with the cannoli that be lined in chocolate. So let's say the chocolate is the protection to the shell, let's put it that way.
Yes, that's right.
But yes, you should have crunchy cannoli. We fill it. If you see our displays, there is always just few cannolis. Because I guess there is two big schools. There is one that says, well, we actually fill it up on the spot. It's great, fantastic, great idea, but for the numbers that we do and for the places that we are, that never work. That's the way we started, but at the beginning, that's where we start to do it. It just doesn't work because imagine Chelsea, imagine South Melbourne Market. People, they start to line up, and if they want 12 cannolis, 6 or 7 different flavors, takes way too long. So for us, what we do is we have a system where we constantly fill up cannolis, but they've been sitting there half an hour to 1 hour max. That's the perfect, I think, way to eat it. It's not too crunchy. It's way too crunchy, but it's as well something that has been, and it's quick. Our thing is the service. Service has to be quick. Otherwise, you lose sales.
Mm-hmm. And I was speaking of flavours. You mentioned just before. Did I read somewhere that you've got 20 flavours, or is it ever evolving? Can you put anything in a cannoli or a cannolo? Actually,
Cannolo.
I just read that today.
Look, we pretty much all year round we have a flavor of the week, and we have a couple of flavors, probably 2 or 3 flavors that we repeat. Everything else is always a new flavor. So we have much more than we have at least 50 flavors, and some of them we drop it. We do something new, we push a little bit, and then we say, this didn't work, or people didn't like it. Something that probably I think, this would taste fantastic. Like a few weeks ago, we did a star anise one, star anise and pear. And for me, I love star anise. I said, it's fantastic. People just didn't like it. But again, I'm a big fan of fennel or fennel seed. So it depends what people, the perception of the people they have. So every week we have a new flavor. We have some stable that is, the Sicilian, there is the cinnamon one. We have the chocolate, we have the citrus that normally is between limoncello, blood orange, lime, or just the general orange with poppy seed. And then we have the tiramisu with the freezer dry coffee. So it has a beautiful coffee flavor, but it's not greedy in your mouth. Yes. And then we have flavors of the week.
Because I saw you did a Filipino-inspired calamansi one.
Yes.
And then a cookies and cream one, which looked amazing.
We went as far a few years ago. We did for Australia Day. We did Vegemite and Vegemite and parmesan. It worked extremely well.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Because again, to me, the way I see it, with the Cannoleria and as well with the Burrata Bar is. Every dish will have a creamy part, okay? Like let's say your classic toast, Vegemite toast. My kids love it with butter. So you have the toast is your cannolo, a crunchy part, yeah? Then they put the butter, or the other way, I'm not sure. But they put some one before the other. Yeah. And again, the ricotta, you just want something that has the fat part, and then you put the Vegemite. And so when they feel a bit more fancy, they grate some cheese on it. So what we did, we made some parmesan chips. So we put it in the oven, nice and crispy, and we garnish like that. Italian hate it, but to me it's like the beauty to what we do is that we are in Australia. And the way I see it, I'm not bounded by tradition because I'm not Sicilian. I'm Italian. My grandmother was Sicilian, but I grew up in Abruzzo. So I don't have the tradition that it kind of limits you because fair enough, you grow up with that. So for me, I'll take a very chef view of the cannolo. Is what else can we do? In the end, it's something that is a crunchy shell and a soft filling. Even a taco is something with a crunchy shell and a soft filling. So
true.
I'm sure in any cuisine that you go, there is something that has a crunchy shell and a soft filling. Why that can become a cannolo?
Yes, that's right.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, wow. So, excuse me. So it's interesting, that you've got that chef approach because obviously you did train to be a chef. I see all the things you're doing now. You're so entrepreneurial. Are you still on the pans? Do you still cook?
Yeah. Look, the Burrata Bar, I still love to go there every weekend. Yeah. I like we do a lot of pop-ups where I like to be involved. We do private dinners. I like to be involved. Cooking is my first passion. I've been doing from when I was 14. If I could, that's all I would do. Yes. Then of course the business is growing. You can't be just cooking. So we have a few cannoli shops. We have the Burrata Bar. We have a cafe, and all the other bits and pieces that we do. So, but it's it's like a lost love. You always try to go back there,
Yes.
But I love it. I guess for all the things I do, probably is the things I'm a little bit better at cooking.
Yeah. So 14. So what was happening when you were 14?
Well,
Try this.
please enjoy. I didn't have a great childhood, so I lost my mom. I was 14, and so you have things to do, and I always been a big boy. So the kitchen, I've never been great with people, so serving the tables wasn't an option for me. And that's where I started, clean the pots. Back then, when there was money in hospitality in Italy, there was a dishwasher and there was a pot washer. The pot washer you stay in the kitchen and will cook, clean all the pots and pans for the chefs, and then I start to clean the fish. So I'll be like 14, 15 during the summer, because in summer we have 3 months break in Italy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I will go there, clean all the fish. They taught me how to clean the mussel. They would have these calamari that were like a finger size. So you clean all the calamari. That's all the job I would do till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll go there probably 8 a.m. And the fish was still moving. That's how fresh it was. And then slowly, one day then someone was missing. Oh yeah, I teach you how to do this. I do that, and that's honestly how they started. And then I did the culinary school, just because I did. It was that's all I'm doing. I'm doing that. And then it was good because I didn't have to study a lot. So I always worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as long as I remember. I will finish school mid-May. To start to work till September, end of September. In Italy, there is a law that you have to do enough days. Like you lose a year if you don't do a minimum required day. So let's say in a year of school, you have to do at least 100 days. I can't even remember. But
yes.
So at the beginning of the year, the teacher will ask the teacher, "Well, how many days do I have to do this year not to miss it?" Because I had to work.
Yeah, wow.
So for me, I wish I had a cooler story. I would love to say, oh yeah, I used to cook with, again, food. We grew up in the country, so food was always, everything was around food, around the season. We would, raise our own pig, raise our own chickens, raise this, pick tomatoes, going for mushroom. In every season there is something to do, and so I always grow up with that, and that's what I apply to everything that we do. Even at the Burrata Bar, we change menu every 3 months. Honestly, in a little stand at the South Melbourne market, it's unheard of. Like who changes the menu 4 times a year?
Yeah.
Doing the menu, do the pictures, do this, do that. But to me, is why would you eat a tomato when it's not the tomato season?
Yes.
I don't know. It's against my beliefs.
Yes. And I read too that you that these are not made with lard or
No, the shells themselves, they're actually vegan.
Yeah.
That gives us a much longer shelf life.
Yeah.
And again, we are in Australia. There is a lot of people that don't eat pork. There is a lot of people that are vegetarian. To me, cannoli is as a vehicle to show, to get people closer to our Italian heritage, to our Italian tradition. That's why we do cooking classes as well. When we do the cooking classes, people don't care about how technical I am or how good I am. To me, I'll give you all the tips to redo this at home without spending. You don't need a fancy pasta machine. You don't need a fancy cookie cutter. So most of the tools that we use, we actually go to Kmart specifically to buy from Kmart, because I say, if you need it, you can go to Kmart and spend $2. Because if you have to spend for a proper cutter that comes from Sicily that is going to cost you $200, would you ever make it? No. So, and this is the approach with everything that we do. Like we like to be, Cannoleria, I feel, is one of those brands that we're relatively young. We 2018, but I like to think that when people think of cannoli, they think about Cannoleria.
Yes.
And I don't think we are we make the best cannoli. We have a multiple shop, so we definitely like to think that we are the most consistent. We like to think that if you come here to Carlton, or if you go to South Melbourne, if you go to any of our shops, you get the same cannoli.
Yes.
But it's not a mom and pop operation where I will be there sitting, making the shells. It's consistency is important, but I think we are a multiple shop business. So
yes, that's right.
With these challenges, I guess.
Yeah. And so just to go back to the start of it all again.
Yeah.
So I got sidetracked by not asking that question. No, it was me because I wanted to ask about the vegetarian aspect. Can you remember, because you started doing that as a job because you needed to work.
Yeah.
Can you remember when it switched into that love that you spoke about?
What I love of the kitchen more than anything else is the team, to be there. For a 14 years old, you want the hierarchy. You want those people. You want to listen to someone. You want to do this. This is the thing I love the most. And what I love the most about cooking is the switch was that you can take something so simple and make it become something completely different. And the result is there and there, like even in business now, we do something that if everything goes well in 6 months, we see the results. Yeah. Cooking is, you make something, you eat it straight away, it's there and brings people together. This is what I love about the most. Yeah.
And so then at what point, because you went and worked in London.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you needed to do that as the next step?
I guess straight away. Look, my idea was always to leave. I come from a small village. I guess it's just normal that when you are 18 you want to leave. And I did. As soon as I had the chance, I finished the school because in Italy it's still important to say, no, you have to have your diploma. I did it to make my dad happy. And then I left as soon as I could.
Yeah.
I had a friend that lived in London and worked in this Cliveden hotel. It was a 5-star Lux hotel. Wow. 40 minutes north of London, still there, beautiful place. And the beauty there, it was a hotel. So they will give you the room where you can stay. They will teach you English. It was part of the deal. That every day off, they will give us the day off on the day that there was an English teacher. It was quite familiar. So it was pretty easy, the transition, and you weren't just with Italians. So this friend of mine who really, I guess, had a broader view. He was a little bit older than me. He said, if you come here, it's easy because you don't have to look for a house, you don't have to share accommodation or doing all this thing, but they teach you English, you see some, a bit more like not just Italian cuisine, but you can see a bit more of international cuisine. And that's what I did. And then I was lucky enough that, I couldn't speak a word of English. So I started in the club kitchen making sandwiches, the pasta, all the room orders and things like this. And that's all. I went to the main kitchen. From the main kitchen, become chef de partie. And then from there was an opening that had a small Michelin-starred restaurant in there, 1 Michelin star, and the chef was, I guess, because then he moved on, Robert Thompson. He was the youngest chef in England back then, being rewarded with a Michelin star.
Wow.
So that was another thing altogether. He's working in such a small brigade. I was the only Italian. It was him, his wife, his best friend. So imagine, I just couldn't fit in there. But fair enough. That just taught me how to, a different style of cuisine. And there is some things that I still do today that he taught me back then. I guess the biggest issue with England is that. At least for me, it was very hard to integrate with the culture and with everything else. So then I had a teacher that took a year off from, my cooking teacher at school. They took a year off from school to come here because she had a cousin like that, just like that. And she told me that I think, Australia is still a great place, very, very green. I think you can do very well there. Just go and try. There is working holiday, and literally that's what I did. I was 21, and yeah.
So that was, when was that? 2000?
2010.
2010, yeah. Wow. And here you are.
Yeah.
So did you, when you first arrived here, what was your impression? Because did you come straight to Melbourne?
Straight to Melbourne. I started working. I never stopped. I think from that day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in Italian restaurants initially.
Yeah. But I was very lucky that I was with this Abruzzese family, the Battista family. They had this restaurant, and they took me in as a son. I was doing all the Christmas with them, everything that you could do with your family, you would do the same. But they had a restaurant, and then when so they were down in Edithville, so the beach side.
Oh yeah, wow.
Then they couldn't sponsor me, so I had to find a quick solution, and I went to work at the Grand Hotel in Richmond, where Valerio Nucci and Leonardo Gelsomino was head chef.
Okay.
And I think the way they looked at Italian food was so different. Like, I think they were more attached to the tradition than they're actually back in Italy.
Oh.
Leo well, now he owns Lello Pasta, the brand Lello Pasta. Then together we opened the Yak Bar. Together I was the chef, as a partner, but Yak Bar in the city. I think he's the style of pasta they used to do. It's a shame. We were actually talking yesterday. It's a shame he doesn't have a restaurant anymore, because we used to love it. Like his passion to make the Vinci's Grassi, they of course was taught by Valerio. It was incredible. I think they really took me back to the root, because probably I was still thinking to do like modern Italian, trying to do things, mix it up. Instead, they really taught me how to do things the old school way. I think Leo is one of the most personally influenced by definitely my pasta skills and the cuisine altogether.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And at what point did you think it was time to go out on your own and enter the world of business?
Well, being Abruzzese, we do these amazing lamb skewers they call arrosticini. So that was my first thing that I want to do. So I guess to be able to do events and pop-ups and things like this, I had to be out in the kitchen. So I did resign from to working with Leo, because I want more like a Monday to Friday job, and then I could do something extra on the side. And that's what I did. I worked for an ice cream company. I did ice cream back in Italy, so I was doing industrial style ice cream. But it's funny how then all the things there I learned there, do things industrially or on a larger scale than we use back when we opened Cannoleria. And then I was doing events, I was doing pop-ups, I was doing all different weddings and birthdays, and that's where I did a few things with Giorgio for That's Amore. I did when they opened the new factory in Thomastown. I did the breakup party. I did a christening for a daughter. And that's when he told me, he said, I knew of him because, I always used his cheeseware in every kitchen there I was. And then I would see him back then was still doing deliveries. And it's funny, I met him, I think the first or the second week they arrived in Australia.
Yes.
And he was doing deliveries.
Yes.
And he told me, you just arrived. I said, yeah, I just arrived. He said, if you work hard in Australia, you can do whatever you like. And it's funny, and then probably 6-7 years later, when he opened the deli in in Thomastown. That's where he said, "Well, I love your porchetta. I think porchetta roll could be something that people would like around here. You know, there is a lot of tradies. Beautiful porchetta roll would go well." And that's how I started to work with that Amore.
You're right.
Yeah.
So is he still involved with this business? Or?
Yeah. Still involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, Cannoleria wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for him. Because he allowed me to use every space that I could, every van, every truck, every forklift, and that's where we could grow so quickly because he already had all the back of house, and for me it was just, I was lucky that I had all that because then I could work hard to build everything else, and that's what I did. You know, to me, no matter how lucky, how skilled, if you don't work hard, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, that's good advice. I usually finish with asking, what would your advice be for a young person
I've burned it
starting
already.
out as a chef? So work hard.
That's all it is. These days, there is always this dream to become rich or to accomplish something through the phone and things like this. But they don't understand how much work there is behind, or things just doesn't happen overnight. I love that saying that says it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, but you have to work 10 years daily and really push to make it happen.
Yeah. And do you think you have to, then when you get to your stage, do you have to keep that muscle memory up by still doing? Do you still read cookbooks or watch what other people are doing, or how do you keep it alive for yourself?
For me, I love reading. I love seeing other people cooking. But just I'm not too concerned on what other people do. Like in a way, I want to do the same. But it's more like, I love to see what other chefs they're up to, you know, eating in places, what's the new trend, and decide, do we hop in this trend or not? But in the end, trends comes and goes. So with Cannoleria, I believe we are lucky because we have such a traditional product that even if we hop on a trend, but the base is there, is strong. Same thing is with the Burrata Bar. Like in India, we make a dish with burrata. Yes, we push the boundaries, we put fruit, and I always love the first menu. We did mortadella, watermelon, and burrata, and we pickled the rind just to give it a crunchiness. And it was so funny. We put the picture, and someone, an Italian, posted underneath a picture. He posted after the pizza with pineapple, now the mortadella with the watermelon. It was so funny because it's true. Like you're pushing there. That's the approach we have with everything we do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Pleasure.
And this is delicious.
I'm glad.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Dario Di Clerico at Cannoleria. You can check out all the goodness and some glorious photos of cannoli and burrata if that's your thing, those lovely smooth little man bun bits of cheese. It's at Cannoleria_AU, so CANNOLERIA_AU, and at Ugo_Burrata_bar, that's really unclear, which it sounded like it was, is UGO_BURRATA_BAR. If you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat online at www.conversationwithachef.com, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would love it if you told a friend about my chats because that's still the best way to get the stories out there. Once again, thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appétit!